Hello everyone, I'm Day Weather Meteorologist Don Day with your Public Lands Council weekly weather update for this October 15th, 2022. It's being brought to you by Ag Risk Advisors and WSR Insurance Services Incorporated. As we take a look at the next week in the western United States, the weather is going to be pretty quiet. In fact, for the Rockies, the western high plains back into the Pacific Northwest into California, the northern and central Great Basin areas, it's going to be dry for the most part. Only a few showers this weekend in the northern plains and northern Rockies. There is going to be some rain showers and thunderstorms for Arizona, New Mexico, and West Texas and Oklahoma. But the rest of the West will be dry, as the coldest, most unsettled weather will be in the Midwest, Corn Belt, and East for the next 7 to 8 days. However, by next weekend, we think by this next update we'll give you, well, that's when things get a little more interesting, with the western United States having a turn colder and more unsettled by next weekend. Taking a look at the latest drought monitor, we still see lots and lots and lots of drought. Although I'm going to show you a map here that shows that there has been some improvements, but we continue to see the central and western areas of the high plains worse off, as well as California, right back in the Great Basin, and then that northern area of Montana is still suffering. But notice we have islands where drought conditions have improved since really this summer and late spring. Over the last week, the improvements down in New Mexico get a lot more rain, and a little patch here in northwest areas of Utah. And you can see that rain that happened down in New Mexico over the last week into West Texas and Oklahoma and Arizona. These areas here basically getting a continuation of that subtropical moisture that led to a wet summer in those areas and continues into the fall season. Only lighter amounts across Montana into the Dakotas and areas just east of the divide there than the past week. Almost no precipitation back here in the Pacific Northwest and parts of the northern and central Great Basin. And there you can see the precipitation anomalies over the last 7 days. This is how things will unfold. High pressure will cover the west coast into the interior west, while we've got this deep cold low here in the Midwest and Great Lakes. Lots of cold will be coming into the central and eastern areas of the United States in the coming days with rain and some of the first early snow of the season for the northern Great Lakes, parts of New England, the mountains of the Northeast. Some real cold there, but that's where the cold's going to be. You can divide the country in half. Cold east of that line, warmer west of that line. So most of the west, things are going to be pretty benign. However, if we were to look ahead to next weekend, this is a weekend ahead. So a week from the updating of this video, by next Saturday and Sunday, high pressure develops in the eastern Pacific Ocean, which in turn directs a large trough of low pressure to form in the western United States. That allows colder air to pour in and better chances for moisture. So for livestock interests in the northern and central Rockies, the Pacific Northwest and northern plains, we're going to go from a mild, dry pattern to most likely a colder pattern that could have some rain and snow in with it as well. Kind of a 180, a reversal of what we're experiencing now by next weekend and probably going into the last days of October into early November. The next 7 days, the outlook looks like this. This is that system change, that change coming in. Notice Washington, Oregon, Idaho, parts of Wyoming and Montana, and into western Colorado and Utah here, getting into the act. But this precipitation right here does not arrive until next weekend. So any precipitation that falls between now and then will be zero or very light, while showers and thunderstorms will continue here in the southern areas. Our next update will be the 22nd. Have a good week ahead, everyone.